Claude Cowork is one of those tools that you're probably seeing people talk about, but you're unsure of exactly how to get started with it and how to actually get value out of it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to get started, and you're going to be excited about how you can use Cowork both for work and your personal life. Before we get into it, I'm just going to show you one automation that I just set up through Cowork. This is in my Claude desktop app, and what I did was schedule a weekly task to come up with YouTube video ideas for No-Code MBA based on AI trends. So it created this scheduled task. It's going to run every Friday at 8 a.m. and generate 5 to 7 video ideas. This is just scratching the surface of what's possible, and I'm going to get into a lot more later in this video of more advanced use cases. First, let's spend a few seconds explaining how to actually get Cowork onto your computer. If you've already done this, you can skip this and go ahead to the next part of the video. So first, just go to Claude's website, and you need to download Claude. Now, this is downloading the desktop app. There's not a specific Claude Cowork app. It's just the Claude desktop app. So go ahead and download that onto your computer, create an account, and then I'll meet you inside the desktop app. So here we are in the desktop app. On the top, there's 3 tabs. There's Cowork, there's Chat, and there's Code. We're going to be focused on Cowork today. Code is if you are actually building apps. This is what developers are using, Claude Code. Cowork is what we're going to use for professional tasks, and I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. And you might be thinking, why can't I just use the Claude chat for everything we're talking about in this video? By the end, you're going to understand, but just know right now, Claude chat is more for just a back and forth conversation, not as much for actually taking action in other apps. So Claude Cowork is more for taking action, more for when you need agents to think things through more thoroughly. Claude Chat is great for when you're just going back and forth. So now that we're inside of Claude Cowork, let me show you a few really important things. The first thing is that Claude Cowork actually runs on your computer. This is why Cowork is only available on the desktop app of Claude. It is not available in the web browser app of Claude. It's only available when you download the app onto your computer. And you have the option to work inside a folder. Otherwise, it's just going to work inside of basically Cowork. But if you work inside a folder, you click this button and you select a folder in your computer, you're giving Claude access to that folder. So you do want to be careful about security. Make sure that you are only giving access to folders that you are comfortable with. You can give it access to an empty folder, for example. It's a great place to start. And by doing that, Cowork is now going to be able to create files and edit files and even delete files inside of that folder. So it's a great way to basically start building up a knowledge base that Claude Cowork has access to. And that's also a great place to give it context that it can read, and then it'll give you more personalized information. So one example is you could create a knowledge base with information about yourself that you want Claude to have. And then, anytime you go into Cowork, it can read that and understand what's happening. You can also add connectors and files and plugins. This is what makes Cowork really, really powerful. So for example, we have some connectors here. We have Exa, which is basically an AI search. It's a really good search platform for AI tools. Gamma for presentations. Linear for like tracking projects. We have Data for SEO, which is a way to actually get really good Google search data and pull that in. GitHub, Pinecone, a couple other apps as well. And then under plugins, we have Apollo, and then plugins can have skills as well. So Apollo is basically a platform to get leads, basically emails, that kind of thing for potential leads if you're doing B2B sales. So there's some skills built into the plugins. So I'm going to start running a task right now to start showing you what's possible and kind of how Cowork works. Find my top keywords for No-Code MBA using Data for SEO. So it's going to ask if we want to allow it to do that for safety. And then now we can start seeing on the right side the connectors that it's using. So I can see it's using the Data for SEO connector, and it's not using any folders right now. It hasn't created any files right now, but there's also a little progress bar so we can see it only had one task to do here, but you can track it if you have longer tasks. So here it's showing us the top 20 ranked keywords for No-Code MBA, which is really cool. Okay. Now we're going to do something else. This might not be exactly what I would normally do, but I just want to show you how we can start to take action on these and actually connect to other things. So I'm going to say, please create presentation using Gamma to showcase this data. So Gamma is an AI presentation generator. It's an app. So I have a subscription with it and I connected it here. So now you can see it's using Gamma, it's connected to Gamma, and there's even going to be kind of a UI that I think is going to pop up here so we can preview it. So it says the presentation is being generated. You can view and edit it here, and it should only take a minute or two. So in a second, you're going to see what was created. And hopefully this is starting to really get your wheels turning about what's possible. And you can see on the right side, now we have our data for SEO connector and our Gamma correct connector. So we're basically getting data from data for SEO, which Claude chat alone would not have the ability to do. And then we're connecting to Gamma to create a really, really nice presentation, which Cowork on its own couldn't do. Now, Cowork can create presentations, and you could just ask it to create a presentation as well. And that's also some of the ability of Cowork compared to chat, where Cowork is just going to be more agentic and be able to write code better, things like that. But Gamma is this external service that you'll see makes really, really nice presentations. So this is a good example, I think, to show you kind of how this all works together. All right, so we have our presentation. So here we can view our presentation in Gamma. We can enter present mode. So this presentation was created. This took about like 5 minutes. And here we go, performance at a glance. We have some interesting data here. Top traffic driving keywords. This is actually kind of amazing. High value keywords by CPC. This is really interesting. Content strategy breakdown. Rate number 2, keywords ready to flip. 5 keywords are 1 optimization push away from the claiming the number 1 position. Okay. This is really cool. This is actually more valuable than I even thought. And like being able to see it in that presentation is so much more valuable than just seeing it here with the data. Like we're actually getting takeaways in the presentation. Claude built all of that in. And I could imagine a really interesting scheduled task. And I'll show you how to do that. So to do scheduled task, you just do a / command. So you start a / and then you type schedule. We could write out that exact workflow. So I'm showing you what that looks like. Schedule to use data for SEO to find top keyword opportunities for no-code MBA, and then use Gamma to create a presentation. So we could do that. I'll start that now, and just to show you what that looks like. So then on a schedule, we could do it every week, for example. I can get a presentation sent to me that is really beautifully designed, looks really good. So here we'll say weekly every Monday, and be able to understand my business better. And you could do this for anything. So just think about, okay, where do I need to get my data from? What do I want to analyze? And then creating a presentation. So here it's just saying it set it up. It kind of creates a prompt here, which is nice to be able to see. And then we can click schedule. So at 9 a.m. on Mondays, the schedule task is set up. Something else that you need to know about with Cowork is skills. Skills are something that actually works across chat, Cowork, and code, but it's something that is really helpful because it's the ability to pull in context about a specific workflow that you want to do. And it can pull in as many of those skills as it wants per chat. And also Cowork is going to intelligently decide which skills to pull in. So if we go to the skills page, here we can see there's the connectors and the skills kind of in one place. So we can see all the connectors. So skills are, as you can see, just a markdown file. So it's essentially just a file. Here I have a skill for YouTube hooks, for example. So it's information about how I want to write my YouTube titles and hooks. And it gives some examples of formulas, when to use, a 30-second hook structure. So it's basically giving Claude additional information as if an expert was telling it its playbook of, what to do. So in practice, if I write a prompt, I'm creating a YouTube video about AI agents. What hook should I have? You'll see that the skill, YouTube hooks, is automatically pulled into the context. So it has the information about how it should think about writing hooks and titles. So here we have some title ideas, video concept, and the hook that it's generating as well. So very cool to be able to use skills. And all of these are just examples that I use for your own life and workflow, but hopefully you can see how customizable this is. Just ask it to start doing tasks for you. Write down what are the 5 things that you do every single day at your job or in your life, and say, hey, how can we automate this? What connectors do you need? What skills should we write? Work with it as a partner, and it's going to help you automate a lot of things. Subscribe to our channel to get more free content like this. I'll see you in the next one.